afternoon. My name is Marty Suberg. I am the Commissioner of the Massachusetts Department of Environmental Protection, and welcome to Brockton City Hall today. And I'll say, first of all, Happy Earth Day, Happy Earth Week. You know, there's not much that makes people at DEP smile, but this week is one of them, because we're celebrating nature. Yeah, some of you who deal with us, appreciate that reference. But and the Baker-Polito administration has been active celebrating Earth Day and Earth Week. There have been events celebrating stream restoration in Plymouth. There's a tree planting that's been going on, attention to farms, attention to green communities. And of course, our very own piece of it is highlighting the value of renewable energy through electric vehicles. So I first and foremost wanted to thank our host, Mayor Carpenter. Thank you so much for hosting us. Thank you so much for making this beautiful venue available to us this afternoon. It is particularly appropriate because Brockton is a community that is really embracing the electric vehicle revolution. Over to my left, we have a map. It may be a little hard to see the details from where you sit, but come up and look later. But I'll say the cool colors are on the lower end of the number of vehicle scales. The warmer colors, the oranges, the pinks, the reds, those are communities that have more vehicles. And if you have a lightning bolt in your community, it also means that you have charging facilities. And Brockton is on the warm end of the scale, on the hot end of the scale. 13 vehicles, a number of charging facilities, and more to follow. So we are very, very pleased to be here in Brockton, where people are really embracing the technology and embracing the use of the technology. And it's really important for us because this is a year where we in the administration are paying a lot of attention to greenhouse gas emissions. As you know, under our Global Warming Solutions Act, which sets goals for our state in terms of dealing with climate change and reducing emissions, we've done tremendous work in the electric sector, bringing emissions down. We're doing a lot on energy efficiency to make sure we're using energy wisely. But transportation is the big frontier. It accounts now for 42.7% of our emissions of greenhouse gases. It also accounts for emissions of other air quality affecting particulates that we would also like to deal with. So electric vehicles, non-emitting vehicles pose really important answers. When you are driving an electric vehicle that is fed by a clean source of energy, in other words, if it's coming off of renewable energy, as we in the Commonwealth are working towards, you get the double benefit, the benefit of no emissions from the vehicle and being charged by non-emitting sources. Some of our people that spend a lot of time thinking about this say that could translate to as much as 75 miles per gallon for a conventional engine and about 6,000 gallons of gasoline saved over the life of a car. So we at MassDEP have programs for both public fleets and infrastructure, and the infrastructure, I mean the chargers and the other things that really make electric vehicles work. And why we're here and so pleased to be here in Brockton is we spend a lot of time working with our municipal partners who really are on the front line of environmental protection and protecting public health. And they have embraced the benefits of electric vehicles, recognizing the emissions benefits we get, recognizing the long-term economic benefits we get. And so we have worked with a number of communities on our electric vehicle incentive program. And it provides vehicles and it provides chargers to cities and towns interested in taking advantage of it. And since 2013, we have utilized over $2.7 million to fund 267 electric vehicles and 92 publicly accessible charging stations. Today, we're announcing $318,500 to 17 additional public entities for 54 more cars and 2 level 2 dual port charging stations. 11 of the public entities we are awarding today are people that have taken advantage of the program before. So like Brockton, they're building on the success of the program before. So we are delighted to be in Brockton with over $120,000 in funding that the city's already received. Again, 13 full vehicles, full battery vehicles, and publicly available charging stations. And we're very pleased that Brockton is receiving another $5,000 grant today to help purchase another electric vehicle for its fleet. So with that, I'd like to turn the program over to our host, the Mayor of Brockton, Mayor Carpenter. Thank you.
Well, good afternoon and welcome everyone. And first, Commissioner Suberg, it is a pleasure to have you back here in Brockton with us today. And we do appreciate our relationship and our ability to work with you. Brockton became a green community in 2017. That was one of our objectives when we arrived, and it honestly took a couple of years of hard work to fulfill all the requirements for Brockton to become a green community. But I think we were the first city in southeastern Mass that was able to obtain green community status. And I think that this electric vehicle program is very consistent with a lot of the programs that we've been able to take advantage of help from the state in changing the way that we operate city government and look at our responsibility of reducing our carbon footprint and becoming a truly sustainable city. We're now participating in the municipal vulnerability program, looking at long-term climate change and how we can impact that here in the city of Brockton. We've been participating with the state in the greening of the Gateway Cities program, which has allowed us for a couple of years now. We've been, with the help of the state, rebuilding our urban tree canopy, which is also good for energy conservation and quality of life and cleaning the air. So we've, and even the, coming out of the Green Community Program was the municipal LED program, where we've converted all of the city streetlights to LEDs now, saving a tremendous amount of money and saving a tremendous amount of energy at the same time. So when we had the opportunity a couple of years ago to participate in the electric vehicle incentive program, it was really a good fit for us in terms of our overall game plan. And we did pilot first with a couple cars, one and then two more, total of three. And you know, there were a few skeptics around City Hall and in city government when we first got the couple electric vehicles. Somehow we've gone from, when I first had the electric cars coming in, people were fighting over not wanting them, and I'm not driving one of those, to now I've had to transfer a couple cars because everybody wants one for their department. So it's a good problem to have, because the cars have been, the Nissan Leafs have been really a practical car for city use. I mean, if you think about it, as far as I know, the vehicles don't leave the city during the day. You know, the range hopefully is not an issue. If it is, they won't make it back. But when you think about people like health inspectors and building inspectors and assessors, that as part of their regular daily work are spending most of their day driving around the city, visiting various sites. And so these Nissan Leafs are just a perfect fit, and they've really worked out well for us. I know we've saved a lot of money in gasoline and expenses, but even more so, I think it's the fact that what the use of the electric cars symbolizes in terms of the city's commitment to sustainability and caring about the future and reducing our carbon footprint and really being a true green community. Our Nissan Leaf program is a big piece of it. So I know, Commissioner, I have had the opportunity, I've had calls from a couple other mayors over the last couple of years asking me how the electric cars have worked out, and I tell them they're a great fit for city government. There are a lot of our folks that are out on the road during the day that the electric vehicle is a perfect fit. So we are very pleased to accept some more money from you, Commissioner. And we're very much welcoming all the other communities that are here today that are also participating in the program, and I congratulate all of you on your awards, and I believe that your experience with the Nissan Leafs in your city or town will be just as positive as ours. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and truly thank you for your leadership on this, and not just on the EV program, but a number of the programs that truly make Brockton a green community. One of the things we do to commemorate this, and hopefully, ordinarily we're in the paper-saving business, but sometimes we think having paper is a good idea, and hopefully this particular certificate that we'd like to award to you is recognition that you were one of the early investors into technology, and hopefully years from now we'll all look back on this and say that communities like yours were front runners and really the reason why we have had the success that we will have. So thank you again, Mr. Mayor.
Here we go. Thank you again, appreciate it, thank you.
We, when we work, we always work best when we work together. And the tremendous partnerships between state and municipal government, clearly an important partner in that is our legislature and the work that leaders in the House and particularly in the Senate are doing right now with regard to climate change and supporting communities that are making wise decisions to deal with not only reducing emissions but vulnerability issues. Senator Michael Brady represents Brockton. He is a tremendous advocate of environmental causes. I've had many opportunities to speak with him on issues of importance to his community, and we'd like to ask Senator Brady if you wouldn't mind coming to say a few words to this group.
Thank you, Commissioner Suberg, and this is about government working together. Unlike what you hear in other parts of the country, we are very fortunate in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. We have a great relationship with our governor, his staff, the commissioner, our local mayor, our local city officials, and the state delegation. And I know our colleagues in the House, the governor presented his budget a short while ago. It is being deliberated in the House as we speak, so my colleagues in the House wish they could be here, but they're working to get more funding for Brockton as we speak in the House side of the budget. That's Representative Claire Cronin, Representative Michelle Dubois, and Representative Gerald Cassidy. So they're working to get funding for Brockton, and then the budget is going to go to the Senate side, while I'll be in the State House working to get more funding for Brockton. But we've made a lot of great strides in the meantime. As the mayor mentioned, the LED lighting, there's been great beneficial to Brockton. We did a brownfield site many years ago in Brockton, turned it into a Brightfield site, which was a hazardous waste site, and cleaned that site up. And we're continuing to move forward in the Commonwealth to bring new, clean, renewable energy and get away from the fossil fuels. So we're working as a great team in the Commonwealth with the local government. I want to thank the mayor for his initiative on this, the secretary, the governor, and the lieutenant governor, and the rest of our state delegation. And thank you to everyone being here today, because none of us do it alone. We've got a great team in Brockton, and that's what makes us the City of Champions.
Okay, so we are very proud of our EVIP program, which helps municipalities in public vehicles and public charging. We also have a program that benefits both public and private entities, our workplace charging program. And again, this gets at the issue of making sure we not only have the vehicles, but we have the infrastructure to support the vehicles, so that the choice of electric vehicles will be convenient as well as economically and environmentally friendly. So why a workplace charging program for MassDEP? Well, it allows access for EV charging for employees who may not be able to charge or fully charge their vehicles at home. It can demonstrate certainly environmental leadership to employees, customers, and the community. It improves commuting practices and reduces emissions, and provides the benefits that we have seen throughout by, again, stressing that charging is convenient and available wherever you travel. So the workplace charging program administered by MassDEP provides 60% of the cost of the hardware of a level 1 or a level 2 charging station to eligible employers with 15 or more employees in a non-residential place of business. Since 2014, this program has used $1.4 million to fund 547 EV charging stations at 267 different street addresses. Our workplace charging funds are part of our ongoing commitment. We're trying to leverage all the funding that we can use through things like the money we garnered from the Volkswagen emissions cheating scandal case, where the Commonwealth was able to obtain $75 million to improve air quality from vehicles as well as reduce greenhouse gases. And so we are trying to make sure that we are leveraging all these resources to promote electric vehicles and their infrastructure. So today, we are announcing for the workplace charging program, $52,000 to 10 entities for 16 level 2 charging stations. Those are the fast ones, right, Sejal? Those are the good ones? Yeah. Both are good, but the people like fast nowadays, so we're making an investment in fast. Among the entities that is receiving one of those grants is also an entity that has been in the forefront of promoting electric vehicle use and working with the Commonwealth to address climate change in all of its forms. The Mass Audubon Society is receiving a grant for $3,479 for one of its locations in Natick. So I'd like to introduce Mass Audubon Sanctuary Director Alyssa Landry to offer her remarks and tell us a little bit about your program.
Thank you. I'm delighted to represent Mass Audubon and the environmental community here today. So I manage Broadmoor Wildlife Sanctuary, one of 20 staff sanctuaries across the state of Commonwealth of Massachusetts, where our mission is protecting nature for people and for wildlife. So changes in the natural world are already evident in changing forest types, fruiting and flowering times for trees and shrubs, and of course, bird populations. Our organization is working with many others through land conservation, education, and advocacy to draw down greenhouse gas emissions in our state and beyond. We try to lead by example. Nature Center that I manage is carbon negative. That is, we produce more electricity than we use through solar panels. Mass Audubon's Board of Directors has committed funds to purchase electric power tools, including lawnmowers, chainsaws, pole saws, leaf blowers, so that we can convert every use of conventional powered equipment to electric. Personally, I'm an electric vehicle owner, and I live in a house powered by solar panels. Last year, Mass Audubon convened a task force to look at whether electric vehicles and charging stations on our 20 staff sanctuaries made sense. The task force overwhelmingly concluded that converting our vehicle fleet to electric will have an important impact both directly by reducing emissions and serving as a visible example to our staff members and visitors. The electric vehicle incentive program funds at selected sites will be an important component of achieving that goal, as are the utility incentive programs. We're very grateful for Eversource in our area of Massachusetts and their incentive programs. Advocacy for maintaining these programs and adding to them is another important step supported by Mass Audubon. I'm delighted that Commissioner Suberg and Mayor Carpenter are highlighting the electric vehicle incentive program during this Earth Week to inspire action by all of us to reduce our contributions to greenhouse gases and return our planet to a healthy, sustainable future. Thank you.
Okay, Alyssa, you are also going to get a certificate from us for the same reasons. By the way, a number of you are. We're just giving these first, so you'll be called up in time. But once again, thank you for your commitment. We look forward to partnering with you, and our best wishes as you implement electric vehicles at your sanctuary.
We are delighted. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much. As I indicated, we'd like to present each of our recipients with a certificate for the self-same reason. You're here early. You're the people that are making the investments now. And years from now, when we have seen the success of the programs, when we have been able to make progress that we need to make, I hope these certificates, while only a small memento, will be somewhat of a source of pride to all of you. So if it's all right, I will call you up by either the city or town or the workplace you're representing, and if it's all right, we'll present you with the certificate and maybe take a quick picture to memorialize this day. So I will start with the gentleman who traveled the furthest from Ashburnham Municipal Light Plant. Please come on up. Not working?
It's me.
You got one? Okay. Great. Thanks again. Thanks. Ed, I thought I was the only one that had a problem with the smartphones, so that's why we need more millennials in the workplace, because Ed and I are having trouble with these smartphones. But in any case, you know, we would like to make sure that we are honoring all of our recipients, and thank you again, Kevin, for joining us. So our next recipient is, I just want to make sure I'm doing this list properly, is the town of Concord. Concord here? Okay. We'll, okay, there you go. Yeah, there's no check. It'll be like the Academy Awards. We'll accept it on their behalf and play the music. Haverhill, is Haverhill here? Okay. All right. The Littleton Electric Light Department? All right, sir. Thank you. And I know our friends from the Taunton Municipal Light Plant are here, so please come on up. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Terrific. Thanks again, Bill, for coming. City of Waltham, is Joseph here? Joseph, terrific, thank you. Is Jay or George from Wareham here? Wareham Fire District? Oh, terrific, terrific, you're both great, thank you. Thanks for doing this.
Thank you.
Thanks, great, congratulations. And then, let's see, is Daniel Orr from the city of Woburn here? Great.
Thank you. Thank you.
And let's see. Holy Cross, our workplace charging program recipient. And UMass Lowell. Well, with that, I'd like to once again thank you all for being here. I'd like to thank you for being part of the program. I do want to acknowledge some of the folks that have put this program together for our DEP team. Some of them are people that work on electric vehicle issues every day. They help us, all of us, in state government and in cities and towns and elsewhere, demystify, develop cost-effective solutions. And I would like to thank Sharon Weber, Christine Kirby, Haiti Janik, who's with us, Sejal Shah, who is the world's expert on electric vehicles. I'd also like to thank Becky Doig from my office, Ed Coletta from our press office, Brian Faris, our chief of staff, Anthony Valou, and our deputy commissioner, Gary Moran, and everybody's beloved regional director in Massachusetts DEP Southeast Regional Office, Millie Garcia Serrano. So thank you all for your efforts today in putting this on. So with that, Mr. Mayor, I think we've come to the end of this program. I believe we're going to go out and take some pictures with some of these nice-looking vehicles. Terrific. Thank you again, everyone.